Sin is pleasurable, but it's not beneficial.
That's right.
So, what I'm saying?
I do.
It's pleasurable, but it's not beneficial, because all that I did, all the drinking that I did, all the
Whatever.
whatever I did, all the fornication I did, it didn't get me nowhere. It caused me a bunch of pain.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
We are here today with Dominic Patrick. He has a beautiful story of recovery. Dominic.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about you. Tell me about your life in the way that you would like to share it. What brought you into the situation of your first steps into a wrong direction that you said you were addicted to alcohol?
Okay. Well, good question. Thank you for asking. Well, I say I grew up in church. I say started at the age of 7. My father brought me up in church, raised me up in church. He was the one that brought me to Christ because he needed Christ.
Yeah.
You know, he was 32 when he brought me to Christ.
And you were brought to Christ at 7.
At 7.
You believe that he was your savior?
Yes, through my father, because he needed Christ as well. He had went through something with my mother. They went through a divorce, and he had told me my sister, she was sick at the time. He said, I lost my marriage, but I'm not gonna lose my kids. I'm not gonna lose y'all. And
That's a strong stance.
A strong stance. You know, a lot of people, when they go through a divorce, they leave everything. They forget the kids and all.
That's right.
You know, he didn't forget us.
Your dad wasn't that way.
He wasn't that way. I thank God for that. You know, and at the age of 7, he brought me to Christ. And I grew up in church, was raised in church, know the word, know right from wrong. You know, I know right from wrong. So when I turned 18, I had this little curiosity about life. I wanted to experience life for myself. You know, you can call me the prodigal son. You know, basically
that's what I was thinking.
Basically, that's my life. You know, turned 18, wanted to experience life for what it had to offer me, which was nothing but a bunch of heartache and pain. Turned 18 and started indulging in alcohol. Started messing around with females. A lot of partying, a lot of fornication, and in the process of me partaking in alcoholism and being a fornicator, I caught 2 DUIs in the process.
Oh my!
Caught 2 DUIs.
Any jail time with that?
Like overnight type stuff.
Okay.
You know, overnight type stuff. But a lot of legal problems, legal fees.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. I could have brought 2 houses by now behind catching DUIs. And no, I should have caught 1,500 DUIs because I had a real addiction to alcoholism. It was bad, Craig. Like to the point.
So when it started, it was to have fun.
It was just something to do. It was more or less like going out, partying, hanging out, you know. And I started drinking with my brother and my uncle.
Okay.
You know, because they was 10 years older than me. You know, and I looked up to my brother and my uncle. I was the youngest son, and I looked up to my big brother and my uncle like, I want to be like them one day. I want to do what they do, because what they was doing, it seemed fun. It seemed intriguing to me.
Right. You know, from the outside, seemed like an exciting time.
As you know, they mingling with women. You know, they drinking. I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind doing that one day. You know, curiosity killed a cat. You ever heard that saying?
I have.
Yeah, it didn't kill me, but it almost did.
Right.
So I started out drinking with them just as a social thing, just doing something sociable, drinking with them, and you know how a dragon start off as a snake. The more you feed that snake, it becomes a dragon.
Okay.
You know, it was something that became sociable, became an addiction.
Yes.
And it happened fast. Happened real fast.
Real fast.
Real fast. And like I say, alcoholism runs in my family on both sides. You see what I'm saying?
Predisposed.
Yes, predisposed. And you know, I never seen my father drink alcohol, but he used to. You know, I never seen it.
Pre-age 7 for you.
Exactly. So I didn't see it, but it was there because it runs in my family. So when I started drinking sociably, and next thing I know, I found myself wrapped up in alcoholism, wrapped up in fornication, and it was spinning my wheels. And one thing I tell people all the time: whatever you do, just don't affect you; it affects those that love you. You know,
Yes, there's a social platform that I heard about 10 years ago. They were stating that 6 removed and everybody knows everybody around the world.
yeah,
So
I
it
heard that.
doesn't affect just you.
I heard yes,
It affects everybody.
yes,
When somebody's hurting,
Yes.
somebody's not living their best life,
yes,
it hurts everybody. That's why we're here, is to get stories from you so that you might be able to help people that have not went down that road yet,
exactly,
or maybe they're in the middle of that road
yeah,
and they want to learn what you did
yeah.
to change that.
Exactly. So, like I say, it was a 10-year addiction of alcoholism and just being a major fornicator, sleeping with a bunch of women, having girlfriends here and there and whatnot. And
Isn't that the macho thing to do, though? I mean,
I
that's
mean,
the manly thing to do, right? Isn't it the
yeah,
best thing to do? Isn't that the
man,
funnest thing to do?
I thought it was.
I think the Bible says something like, sin's fun for a season, but its maturity, it brings death.
Exactly. Let me tell you what, sin is pleasurable
For a season.
for a season. I'm not gonna lie. Sin is pleasurable, but it's not beneficial.
That's right.
So what I'm saying?
I do.
It's pleasurable, but it's not beneficial because all that I did, all the drinking that I did, all the
Whatever. All that
whatever I
stuff.
did, all that fornication I did, it didn't get me nowhere. It caused me a bunch of pain. A lot of money that I really didn't have, but I had to come up with. You know, I had to work extra hard to pay my lawyers, pay my
Yeah.
lawyer fees, breaking hearts, getting my heart broke. You know, it's all these soul ties. You know, sleeping with somebody is more than just sleeping with somebody. You know, but you know, my parents used to always tell me, like, Dominic, we raised you better than this. You know, my family, like, Dominic, you better than this. You better than alcoholism. You better than this. You can beat this. You know, so I always had support of my
Right.
family,
Okay.
of my friends. But, you know, the turning point for me, like I say, what started out as being sociable
Right.
became an addiction, a
Yes.
stronghold.
Yes.
Like, alcoholism about killed me. I could have died many times. You know, there was times where I would, and this the honest to God truth, there were times where I would go to a party somewhere in Tulsa, and I stay way across town, and I would get in my car, leaving the party, and I don't know how I made it home. You know, it wasn't nothing but the angels of God that kept me,
Fortunate that you didn't kill somebody,
or kill myself, or exactly.
because if, from what I understand, there's pretty strict laws
Yes.
about people that are DUI
Yes.
and commit vehicular homicide.
Yeah, you can get life
Real
behind
time.
You can get real time behind that. Yeah,
Big
and,
deal. And there's a lot of people out there doing that today.
right now, somebody right now drinking and driving right now as we speak. But I pray that the Lord keep them safe and the pedestrians safe as well. But no, there was many times where I would drink and drive and never got hurt, never hurt nobody, and there wasn't nothing but God's angels.
Yeah.
I know that.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm so grateful because even though all that the mess I done, you know, the Lord had his hand on me. You know?
So that we could have this conversation here today. And there's other people that have not been or lived that life experience where they did actually have that happen to them.
Yes.
And then they're in prison, they've killed somebody, they've got to live with that for the rest of their lives. Maybe God makes himself real to them too.
Exactly.
And maybe somebody goes into the prison and helps them the way that we're about to hear how you were helped.
Exactly.
But it's a different path.
Yes, and I thank God that he allowed me to get free of that without hurting anybody or without hurting myself. Because people get hurt and die behind alcoholism, drinking and driving all the time.
So what was your turning point?
My turning point was when I caught my second DUI. I caught my first one at 19, underage drinking. 19. I ain't
Wow.
shouldn't be drinking no way, but I was drinking.
Right.
You know, so I caught my first DUI at 19 in 2003. And you know, I didn't take it serious. I'm like, whatever, I'll be all right. I'm 19. You know, I'm invincible. I thought I was invincible. You know, and then I didn't learn from that one. I kept on drinking, kept on partying. You know, I'm young. I'm living my best life, so I thought. So I
Most
thought.
pleasurable life,
Yes.
but not most beneficial life.
Not,
and you
not
weren't
at
mature
all.
enough to know the difference.
Exactly.
Or want the difference.
Exactly. I'm still young, still finding myself, you know, still making poor choices and all that. And I caught my first one at 19, 2003, kept on drinking. And just luckily that my first DUI, they had dropped down to reckless driving. So I got lucky. That gave me a deferred sentence and dropped down to reckless driving. So I didn't learn my lesson. So I kept on drinking, kept on partying and all that. Like I said, my father was my biggest supporter. He like, son, you better than this. I didn't raise you like this. You know, so I always had people in my corner encouraging me to do better. And
a lot of people don't have that support.
Exactly. I did.
That might be why the rails didn't come off any more than they did.
I think so. I'm seriously, Craig. I think so. I think if it weren't for my father and him raising me how he raised me, bringing me up in church, I think my life would be completely different right now. I know it would be different right now.
Yeah.
I know it would.
So he was in your corner
the whole time.
And
the whole time.
You had a change of heart after your second DUI?
My second DUI. Okay, so from 2003, I caught my first one. Then 2012, I caught my second one. And I was 28 when I caught my second DUI. And
that's old enough to know better.
Yep. When you know better, you should do better.
That's old enough to know better.
I knew better.
That ain't 19
Craig, I knew better. I knew better. But I was
So how did it affect you?
Big time. This one was a wake-up call. This one stuck to me. And I remember I caught my second DUI. And I got my lawyer, the same lawyer that got me out my first DUI. He's like, Dominic, he's like, man, you better than this. I'm like, I know, Brian. And he's like, I think you might want to start doing some things different. And, you know, but anyway, I went to court. And the judge, which was a woman, I thank God for her saying what she's saying, because what she said woke me up.
Words are powerful.
It woke me up.
Words are powerful. I'm listening.
Yeah, I was 28, and she said, "Sir, look at me." This is a judge. She's an older lady. She said, "Sir, look at me." I looked at her. She said, "Sir, it's your second DUI. Your first one we dropped down a reckless driving, so that was a tap on the hand." She said, "It's your second one." She said, "Dominique." When she said, "Mr. Patrick."
Yeah.
I'm listening. She said, "I advise you to not get another one." She said, "I strongly advise you to start making better choices about your life and what you're doing, because this is your last one." She said, "You get another one." She said, "Don't worry about going to David L. Moss." And when she said that was a wake-up call. I said, okay, this is serious. She talking about, don't worry about going to jail. You gonna go, we sending you to the penitentiary. So when she said that, like something in me went off.
Right. Yep. Because you knew you were better than that.
Exactly.
You had value in yourself because these people in your life had supported you, told you that, not in an enabling way, but told you, hey, you're better than this.
Yes.
You're better than this. You're better than this. So you had that deep-seated inside yourself.
Yes.
This lady says, don't worry about going to David L. Moss.
Yeah.
You're going to the pen, man.
Yeah. That was a wake-up call.
And you said inside yourself, I'm better than this.
Exactly.
I am not who that is.
Yes.
That's not where the direction I'm going.
Yes.
Very fortunate to have that in your life.
Exactly. And really, on my second DUI, I was at a point before I caught my second DUI, I was at a point to where I was getting tired. I was getting tired of the lifestyle. Because it's a lifestyle. You know, when you drink and party, it's a lifestyle.
Sure.
You know, and really I was getting tired of the lifestyle. Like, I'm like, man, this is...
So you were getting set up for this. You were like, I'm tired of this anyway. Yes, ma'am, I hear you. Everybody's told me that I'm better than this.
Yeah.
What was your next step after that court encounter?
Okay, well, after my second DUI, I was to the point, my breaking point. I was tired.
Right.
I was tired anyway.
Yep.
And the second DUI woke me up. Like, okay, if you're tired of it, okay, then do something different. Okay, so I remember 2012. Okay, so I had to go to DUI school, had to do all that, had to pay my court fines and fees and all that. Well, I was dating a woman, this lady at the time that was affiliated with Pastor Peoples.
Okay.
At the time, he wasn't pastor yet; he was Minister Peoples at the time, and I was dating her, and I'm not even knowing him. I never met him, but she knew him because she followed him around town preaching at different events and all that, and she was like, and me and her wasn't living right, but she was my
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
She was my funnel to Pastor Peoples.
Right. Yes.
And I thank God for her because she led me to Pastor Peoples. And she kept talking. She said, "I want you to meet this pastor." I said, "What pastor?" And she said, "Pastor Peoples." I'm like, "Meet him for what?" I'm like, "I don't know this dude."
Yeah.
She's
Why
like,
do I want to know him?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And she was like, "I think he'd be good for you." I said, "I'm already going to church." Now I'm already going to church, but I'm not living nothing according to the Bible. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
I was in church, but church wasn't in me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people like that.
Right now.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yes. And
you wanted something more?
I wanted something different. Like I had got tired of how I was living. And I wanted to get my life right with God. I wanted to get on a different path. I wanted to get free of the alcoholism and free of fornication. So she had the very person that I'm sleeping with, the very person that led me to Pastor Peoples. Ain't that something?
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, however he do it, he gonna do it.
Yes.
So I remember one day, my father had met Pastor Peoples before. He had met him. And see, my father was my biggest inspiration, my biggest role model, and what he say goes. Like, what he say is gold to me. Whatever he say is gold. Like, if he want to do something, I'm with it. Whatever you want to do, Dad, let's do it.
Okay.
So I remember one day, the lady that I was dating, she was a beautician and a barber. We were at her barbershop, beauty salon, and me, my dad, and my oldest brother were at the barbershop. And Pastor Peoples, he was known for having man meetings. And these man meetings were very powerful back then, still are to this day. And
just getting guys together and talking about
life, talking about life. Keeping it real, raw and uncut. And we always it was always spiritual because he was a minister, a pastor, becoming a pastor. But it was also natural. Like, okay, what are you dealing with? Let's talk about your marriage, talk about your life, your upbringing, your trauma, your dreams, aspirations. It wasn't just spiritual. It was also a natural side to it. You know what I mean? And my father was at my father, and my brother at the barbershop, beauty salon, to the lady I was dating. My father said, "You know what? I think I want to go to this man's meeting and meet this pastor that everybody's talking about, because he had a name for himself in the town." People was like, "Man, this dude, like, he owns something. Like, he doing something powerful at these men's meetings." And my dad had caught wind of it, and he had said, "I want to go." And he looked at me. He said, "Son, you want to go to meet this pastor and go to this man's meeting?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad. Where you go, I go." And truth be told, I might have been tipsy that day. No, I'm serious, Craig. I think I might have been tipsy that day.
Okay.
Because I was searching. I was tired, but I was still going through my breaking point.
Sure.
So my father, and my oldest brother, we went to this man's meeting, and it's not the man meeting. It wasn't far from where the church is now, down the street from the church.
So this is your dad and your older brother
Yes.
that you looked up to,
Yes.
that you started partying with.
My oldest, yes.
And you three men go to this
man's
meeting with Pastor Peoples.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear about this meeting.
Oh my God, this was the first meeting, and you know how when you searching for something, like Lord, I need more, like Lord, I need I need something.
Right. Yeah. Something's missing.
Something's missing.
What's missing?
I need
Please
something.
show it to me.
Please
Help
show
me
it to
find
me.
it.
Help me find it. So me, my father, and my brother go to this man's meeting, and it's like at the time my pastor, he was associate pastor at this church. He was associate pastor at the church. And we go to this church. And we go into the church, into the building, to where the man's meeting was in a nice-sized room. And there was a bunch of guys in there. It was probably like 40, 50 guys in there from all different backgrounds of life, all races, all colors, all walks of life, guys that been to the penitentiary, lawyers, doctors, you name it. Different black, white, Indian, Hispanic, you name it. Pink, green, blue, whatever.
About how many people were there?
It was probably about 40, 50 guys. I'm going to say about 40.
That's a lot of people for a men's meeting.
On a Tuesday night.
That's awesome.
About 40 guys, because pastor had created a buzz about these men's meetings.
Yeah.
And about how guys was really getting the help that they need at these men's meetings through him, with the power of God. And so we go in there and we sit down. And this is my first time sitting down at the men's meeting and listening to Pastor Peoples. At the time, he was associate pastor, Minister Peoples at the time. And he said, and I'm like, let me listen to this guy real quick. Let me give him a shot. I give anybody a shot. You know what I mean? Like I said, I might have been tipsy. So he talking, and he letting us know who he is, and he giving us his background and all that. And he's talking. I said, let me listen to him. And then what got me, he started talking about his testimony, about how he used to be bound to crack. He used to be a gangbanger, used to sell drugs, then being shot, and all this, being locked up and all this, then about got killed. And when he started talking about his testimony, it got me.
Yeah, that seems a little bit further down darkness than what you had to experience to come to your light.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah. But
you connected to that.
Yes. I've never heard a pastor or a minister just tell their story like that. I could relate to the trauma, to the pain, and he looked like me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Not saying I'm not making it a color thing, a race thing. I'm just saying like I could relate to him.
Right. Yes.
I could relate to this dude.
Yes.
And he was just saying how all the hell he went through, which was a lot of it was self-inflicted. It was self-inflicted.
Sure.
A lot of things that we do to ourselves, sometimes, half time is self-inflicted.
Sure.
I chose to drink alcohol.
Sure.
I chose to fornicate.
Yep.
I chose that. And boy, it took me for a nice ride. But I was just listening to Pastor People just talk about his testimony and how he got to the point to where he got tired and he called on Jesus in the 6x9 in the penitentiary. The second time he went to the penitentiary, and he said he never looked back, and he said he stayed, and he said that he stayed to God, and he never turned back to his old lifestyle. But him just being open like that, just being open, being transparent, just being able to show his scars and his wounds, that did something to me. Like I was drawn to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I grew up in church.
Yeah.
And I never heard pastors just tell their story like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. The Bible says something to the effect of they overcome
by their testimony.
By the blood of the Lamb.
And what are they testimony?
So he helped you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of his testimony.
Exactly.
So you could connect your testimony to that.
Yes.
So that you could follow in that system.
Yes, sir. And when he gave his testimony, it did something to me. I was drawn to that. I'm like, this man telling all his business. It's like 40 guys in here. I'm like, dang, he ain't got no shame. No, but he's
setting tone.
Yes.
He's setting tone for other men to be able to open up.
Yes, to open up and to share their story.
That's right.
I'm like, I've never been in a type of setting like that where men will open up.
Yes.
I never had that.
Yeah.
I never had that.
When Adam and Eve did what they did, what they do? They covered up.
They hid. Yeah.
Close to the end of the Bible,
yeah.
What'd they do? They had a testimony.
Exactly.
So they ain't no covering up and getting real.
Exactly. So, you know, go ahead.
Anyway, we're getting back into this men's meeting, 40 men there. He's telling his powerful testimony. You've said that you connected with that.
Yes, like immediately I was drawn to that. And then, like I say, after he had told on himself what he did, and with no shame.
Right.
He like, I did this, I done that, I did this, I done that. And now, look at me now. Now I'm free. He said, now I'm free and sober of drugs, gang banging, all that. My old lifestyle, who I used to be, don't affect me no more. He said, now I'm free and sober. And something in me said, that's what I want. I want to be free and sober. That's what I want. I said, I want what he got. Cause like I said, I was tired of the lifestyle, and I was looking for a change. And
you found that change.
And Craig, I promise you, when like the light bulb went off, like you need a setting like this. This is what you need. You need to be with a bunch of men that's willing to be open and transparent and be real and share their stories, share their scars and wounds, share their hangups and habits, and not be ashamed of it. I said, clear as day, Dominic, this is what you need. You need a setting like this. You need a man like that that's not gonna condemn you, that's not gonna judge you, but gonna hold you accountable and charge you to do better. And I remember when Pastor, when he had opened the rooms for guys to share, whatever, every guy in that room had their hand up. No, Craig, I said there was guys in there crying. There was guys in there sharing their stories. There was guys in there sharing testimonies of how they used to be bound to certain hangups and habits and addictions. Cause my pastor, he was vulnerable. He made himself vulnerable to us.
Yes. So we should make ourselves vulnerable to others when we think we should, if we are called to do that, to help them see that we are real people.
Exactly.
And that we've experienced things.
Yes.
And that we have passed too.
Exactly.
And we're not going to put these fake facades on.
Exactly.
To try to make ourselves look better than what we truly are.
So that's a facade.
That's the key. That's the key that I wanted you to share today.
Exactly.
Dominic, I appreciate you coming on to our podcast today. That was powerful.
Thank you.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?